focus working together for all of my ways to deeper, though there are a lot of usable opportunities for the two modes to work together. Hyperfocusing allows us to remember more, which leads to more valuable connections, meeting in the scatter focus mode. How good we feel. Curiously, the more we invest in happiness, the more productive we become hyper-focus mode, and the more creative we become in scatter mode. Why exactly does investing in happiness foster productivity and creativity? When you are happy, the amount of dopamine in the logical part of your brain rises, which leads you to approach your work with more energy and vigor. And because you have more attention and space to work with, you have the resources you need to focus in more deeply and accomplish more. Being in a good mood also makes you better recalling information on the fly. You also consume information more actively. The happier you are, the more likely you are to put ideas together in new and interesting ways, and the better you are able to overcome functional fixedness. And at the same time that your unwanted and mind-wandering episodes increases, they become less present and the productivity. This is why it is so important to capture the problems you are tackling when in a negative mood. Whenever you are feeling miserable, you are often also dealing with a number of serious issues. The Zeigarnik effect, which keeps on solve the problems in front of mind, focuses you think of them more. That's true, because even though I'm reading this book, I was able to focus easier and faster, but now I was just gonna think of a YouTube channel. That's why it is kind of Zeigarnik effect as well. Okay, so according to one study, habits that train our brain to wander less, such as mindfulness and meditation, more likely to experience insightful solutions to problems when you are in a positive frame of mind. Listening to music, playing, talking and investing in their relationships, exercising, making love. 1. Making love. 2. Exercising. 3. Talking and investing in their relationships. And 4. Playing. 5. Listening to music. Recalling 3 things you are grateful for at the end of each day. A good companion. Tactic in the rule of 3, discussed in chapter 3. Journaling at the end of each day about the one good experience you had. Meditating. Performing a random act of kindness. Oh, happiness is the rose-colored lens. They places double attention space, which allows us to relate it to our experiences in more productive and creative fashion. How often you exercise, what you eat, and whether you get enough sleep. You know what I said? This book is hyper focus, how we can just increase our focus power or something like this. But they still just think about they just talk about the exercise, diet, and how we sleep. Now we just focus like that. This is just a life lesson. It's some kind of just answer for life. All the even successful people always say, oh, if you just earn money, okay, if you just succeed, always just ask yourself how often you exercise, what you eat, and whether you get enough sleep. Always this is the answer. Okay, so hyperfocus is most effective during your peak energy times. That's true. The more productive task you do during your BPT, the more productive you become. There is a flip side to I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A little bit excited. A little bit excited. Okay, so I just want to try to calm down. There is a flip side to this concept when it comes to scalar focus. Scalar focus is more powerful when you have the least energy. That's true. Analytic problems require focused attention to solve, but solutions to creative problems come when you connect the greatest number of ideas. For most people, this occurs during the late morning, around 11 a.m., and the mid-afternoon around 2 or 3 p.m. Everyone is different, of course. Okay, the studies find it more remarkable. After watching the movie, tipsy participants solved 38% more creative, where the puzzle standard sober participants. How to do that? Not only that, they solve the problems more quickly. How come? Okay. How come? Because is it really good for long term or just in a short term like this? Okay, you experience this effect firsthand. Consuming alcohol makes your mind wander more often while at the same time decreasing your meta awareness. The more you think, the more your mind wanders. The less awareness you have held it, and the smaller your attention space becomes. Okay. While alcohol helps in scalar focus, caffeine helps us in hyperfocus. Yes, the research is conclusive. Caffeine boosts in mental and physical performance in pretty much in every measurable way. That's true. As with the most productive advice, implement individual tactics with awareness and how well they actually work for you is key. Work for you. Work for you. This is key, okay? Caffeine can also boost your performance in physical work and exercise. It helps you perform in hot conditions, boosts strength training performance, and increases in your tolerance for pain during exercise. Because of these costs, choose caffeine when you will actually benefit from your mental and the physical performance boost. Provided it's not too late in the day, consume a bit of caffeine the next time you're about to hyperfocus on a task or hit at the gym for the big workout. Instead of having a cup of coffee after you awake, wait until you go to work so you will benefit from a boost when you work on your most productive task. But that's true, but it is really just kind of affects my quality of sleep at night. That's why for me it is just in the best time. I think I've been experimenting for about 3 years, last 3 years actually. That's why I just found out that right after just wake up I should drink coffee. Yeah, that's just enough for me. That's just my hack. Okay, so by now we covered how integrate both hyperfocus and scalar focus in your life, and make a habit out of entering each mode daily. Enter hyperfocus mode at least once a day to deal with your more productive task, eliminate distractions, and concentrate on one important thing. Enter scalar focus multiple times a day, particularly habitual scalar focus mode, so that you can plan for the future, connect ideas, and recharge your ability to hyperfocus. Do the same at home. Hyperfocusing on meaningful experiences and conversations and scalar focusing when you need to plan, rest, and ideate. As you become more aware of what's accompanying your additional space, how much energy you have, and how full your attention space is, you will become more agile and adjust as conditions change. Maybe you've noticed the quality of your attention how much of your time you spend intentionally, the duration of your focus, and how long your mind wanders before you catch it doing so. Above all, I hope you become more productive, creative, and purpose-driven. The benefits of effectively managing your attention are innumerable. For starters, you feel more in control as you turn off autopilot mode and manage your attention deliberately. You begin to understand its limits and become better able to work within them. Learning when you can and can't multitask. Your life becomes more meaningful because you pay greater attention to meaningful experiences and process them more deeply. In this way, meaning isn't something we try to find. It's just something we make an effort to notice. You get more done because you're actually able to focus on important matters. You're able to think more clearly and become more engaged with your work. You plan for the future and set attentions more frequently. You feel better rested and less guilty about taking a step back. And you connect more ideas while amassing constellations of them in your mood about the topics that drive your curiosity further. This inspires you to become more creative, lets you work smarter and more intuitively, and makes you more productive on creative projects. Hyperfocus can help you get extraordinary amount done in a relatively short period of time. Scalar focus lets you connect ideas, which helps you in unearth hidden insights. Become more creative, plan for the future, and rest. Together, that will enable you to work and live with the purpose. Your attention is a more powerful tool at your disposal to live and work with greater productivity, creativity, and purpose. Managing well will enable you to spend more time and energy on your most purposeful tasks and to work more often with attention, focusing for longer periods, and stumble into fewer unwanted dreams. I hope you spend it wisely. That's true. Okay, I traded with this book. Okay, in the beginning of the I think this book I need to read. Okay, oh my god, my contact lens is a little bit uncomfortable today. Okay, we are feeling stressed and bored. We are working in a chaotic environment. We are dealing with and think about a number of personal concerns. We are questioning whether we are working on the most productive or meaningful task, or we have unused attention space. The more we have, the more prone we are to mind-wandering episodes. You know, I read this book like about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, so I learned a lot, but it feels a little bit different, yeah, before. So I was just gonna try it later. Okay, when our skills greatly exceed the demands of a task, such as when we do manage data entry for several hours, we feel bored. When the demands of a task exceed our skills, such as when we are unprepared to give a presentation, we feel anxious. When the demands of a task are roughly equal to our ability to do the task, when we are playing an instrument, immersed in a book, or skiing down a freshly powdered? What's the powdered? Okay, anyway, powdered slope, we are a lot more likely to fully engaged in what we are doing. If you find it difficult to become immersed in your work throughout the day, it's worth questioning whether your tasks are difficult or complex enough. If your mind is still frequently wandering, even after implementing ideas in previous chapters, it's a pretty good sign. Your tasks aren't complex enough and don't consume enough of your attentional space. Okay, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you find you're anxious at work, even after taming distractions and working with more intention, consider whether your current skills are a good match for the task at hand. Okay, because I think of myself as a pretty productive guy. My failure was tough to admit it to myself, but it taught me an essential lesson. During manage to stop at work or at home, it's not only unproductive, but also a sign you don't have enough important work. This also accounts for why busy work gets set aside when you're on the deadline. There is no time available to contain its expansion. This advice is counterintuitive, and the very idea may turn you off if you already feel you're working at capacity. But it's worth considering. When we do knowledge work for a living, we procrastinate, spending time and attention on email and social media, tasks that make us feel productive in our work but lead us to accomplish little. The greater your working memory capacity, the more information you can hold at the same time, and the greater your ability to process complex tasks. A higher working memory capacity has been shown to reduce mind wandering when you are focusing on complex tasks. A larger attention space also helps you get back on track quicker after your mind wanders or you become distracted. So how exactly do you spend the size of your attention space? There are many brain training apps and websites that promises to build memory and attention. Simply put, most of their claims are dubious. In laboratory studies, they simply don't hold water. While in February, training programs that work in a short term and they help you to remember. Oh my god. And they help you remember a bit more and problem solve a bit better. They're in fact the answer. You have to stick with them for several hours a week in order for them to continue working. And as soon as you stop, you lose the gains you've made. One study measured the effectiveness of these programs across a simple size of 11,430 participants. It found no evidence that the apps worked, even when the tests they measured were the ones that were designed to improve. There is, however, one practice that has been proven study after study to increase working memory capacity: meditation. And practice is actually quite simple. Like in a hyperfocus, meditation involves continually returning your focus on a single object of attention, usually your breath, as soon as you notice your mind has wandered from it. How much control you have over your attention. This eventually enables you to improve each measure of the quality of your attention. You will be able to focus for longer, your mind will wander less, and you will be able to work with greater attention. You experience this same benefit during hyperfocus. Like meditation, hyperfocus is a practice that compounds upon itself. The more you practice, the more you learn to manage the attention, and the longer you're able to focus on the next time around. Meditation is simple. Sit somewhere in which your eyes are closed and pay attention to your breath. It's natural to feel as if you are doing it wrong, especially at first, but don't overthink it. The effects of this simple practice are actually profound. One study discovered that when participants developed in a meditation practice, not only did their minds wander less, but they could also focus for longer. Before that happened, two measures of the quality of attention. The most validated technique for minimizing the disruptive effects on the mind wandering. Notice the qualities of your breath and refocus on them whenever your mind wanders. I highly recommend it. Using an app to get started, I like Headspace and Insight Timer. When you practice being with your breath, you practice being with your life. But meditation is not the only tool in this toolkit. Practice mindfulness is another proven way to increase the size of your attention space. It's similar to meditation, but a little less intimidating. Mindfulness is about becoming conscious in what is filling your mind and noticing the circumstances in a current moment. This includes noting anything you happens to be perceiving, feeling, and thinking. Mindfulness differs from hyperfocusing in one major respect. It's about focusing on the circumstances of the present rather than becoming immersed in them. Anchor your attention to the circumstances of the present moment. Notice the smile, taste, and the feeling of a cup of coffee. The momentum shifts in your body as you walk from the room in the office to another, or temperature and the sensation of taking a shower. You can set a timer at night to simply be with the circumstances of the present moment and notice as much as you can about what you're seeing, hearing, and feeling. When you find yourself becoming lost in thought, bring your mind back to what you originally intended to focus on and leverage how difficult it can be to tame. Don't be hard on yourself when your mind wanders. Remember, your brain was built to do this. Here's the key. The smaller object of attention, the more your mind will wander. But the more you will expand the size of your attention space and as you focus on it, the more quickly you are able to get back on track after a mind venture off during a mindfulness and a meditation session. The better you will become at the focusing at work and home. Practices like meditation and mindfulness are also powerful because they train you to practice in holding a single intention in your mind for a given period of time. During your meditation, you sit with an intention of being with your breath until your timer goes off. The same is true when you practice mindfulness until the coffee cup is empty for half full. Your shower is finished, or you're done walking to where you intend to go. You're focusing on what you're doing then and there. When you keep a single intention in mind, you're able to live and work more intentionally for the rest of the day too. And because in both meditation and mindfulness increase the size of your attention space, both practices will make you more likely to maintain intentions. As if these benefits weren't enough, meditation and mindfulness also help you step back from your thoughts. This makes it infinitely easier to check what's occupying your attention space. The more you notice what grabs your attention, the more quickly you will be able to redirect your attention. Wait, why? Oh my gosh. With enough awareness, you might even want to continue that train of thoughts. For example, a higher working memory capacity means in your mind are more likely to make plans and set intentions for the future. With this extra awareness, you gain the power to notice the stray objects of attention at the edges of your attention space, such as when you're seeking external stimulation or about to fall victim to the seductive distractions. The research is clear. Mindfulness and the meditation improve virtually every aspect of how you manage your attention. I tried doing the same during the extended 2-hour meditation practice the next day, and my mind has never wandered so much. With the object of attention that small, it's no surprise. The quality of attention is so integral to productivity that increasing it even slightly makes a remarkable difference in how much we accomplish. Even only a few minutes a day will help immensely. If you take away one lesson from this chapter, it should be that few practices will improve the quality of your attention and the size of your attention space more than meditation and the mindfulness. While both will consume some of your time, you will make that time back and then some in how much more clearly, deeply, and deliberately you will think and focus. Oh my god, I really want to read more, okay? One more chapter, okay? One more chapter. Chances are you are in a hyper-focused mode during your last highly productive work period. You are likely in a similar state the last time you felt happiest and energized at home. You were probably focused on just one thing, whether there was carrying a meaningful conversation with a loved one, planting a garden, playing cards with a relative, or relaxing with a book on the beach. The only thing you were doing consumed your full attention space. Because of this, you likely didn't have many surrounding distractions. Your work phone may have been in the other room, and you may have made a commitment to disconnect for the weekend. Your family may have agreed to a phone-free dinner. You're probably also in a more relaxed state, and because of this, didn't seek novel stimuli in your environment. You could have focused in with relative ease on what you're doing. Hyperfocus was the best term I could come up with to describe this state of being totally focused on one thing. I like to do this by setting 3% daily intention in addition to the 3 work goals, even if one happens to be binge watching a show on Netflix. One area I've noticed that particularly benefits from hyper-focus is conversation. The secret to deep, meaningful conversation is simple. Bring your complete attention to the person you're speaking with. You can do this in many ways, such as by allowing someone to finish talking before you start. A simple but highly underutilized technique. I'm convinced that most people have a sixth sense, and I can tell when you're truly paying attention to them. It's a remarkable thing when you spend not just quality time with someone, but oh my god, quality time? No, quality. Quality time with someone and the quality attention as well. Oh, okay. This is my bias, actually. So, I just want to say that, it's not in a quantity of time, it is quality of time. That's what, is words is quality, but I still want to read the quantity, but it's a quality actually. So, remarkable thing when you spend not just in a quality time with someone, but quality attention as well. That's a good expression. Okay, whether I work or at home, the quality of your attention determines the quality of your work. At work, the more attention you give to what's in front of you, the more productive you become. At home, the more attention you devote to what's in front of you, the more meaningful your life becomes. Okay, I just want to try to discipline myself because I can read tomorrow as well, right? But today I have a lot of things to do. That's why I stop here. Okay.